Yes.
And we're on the air now. I want to say a special welcome before we get started on the recording to all of you out there watching us live Wednesday. If you are watching through the Hangouts on Air app, you will have the ability to send us questions live during the show. So feel free to do that. And if your question is appropriately stupid, we may share it with the rest of the podcast world. So with that, I'm going to get started in the show. And if someone out there could send me via the question and answer app, let me know whether or not you guys can hear this music. I would greatly appreciate it. I can hear it, but Jeremy can't. So we're going to start the show here.
Let's count down real quick.
Oh, you know what? I'm not recording it. Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm recording. This time I remembered to record.
Okay. Let me open up. Hey, Raj, man. Sorry out there. Guys.
This is only time number 2.
We're still learning this whole stuff.
Actually, we did better last week.
Did we?
Yeah.
I can't remember how to tell it where to, which audio to take in. Audio.
Good thing we jumped on the air.
There it is. Okay. I got it. Yeah, it's going. Okay. All right. And here we go.
Count us down.
Now wondering what it must... Dang it.
Dude.
What?
Count us down.
Ah, right. Hang on. Okay. Sorry. Preemptive. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Can I start now?
Please.
All right, take 2. Now wondering what it must be like to kiss Saban's daughter. It's Igno Rants on college football. Hello out there, America. We are officially now in football season. Hooray! You are listening to Igno Rants on college football. I am Carrie Head. With me, as always, just on the edge of the Central Time Zone, is Jeremy Head. He's the Auburn fan, I'm the Alabama fan, and we are your 2 Igno Rant hosts. Today is our first of the 2014 season Pickcast, wherein we go through the games that we care about and make our predictions. That way on Monday morning you will have something with which to mock us. So, before we get started, I want to make sure that everyone knows by now that you can, in addition to listening to us on iTunes, Stitcher, or your other favorite podcast app, listen to us through Bama Sports Radio or War Eagle Sports Radio, part of the V-Sporto network. Download it on your favorite iDevice today from the App Store thingy. So, Jeremy.
Yes, Carrie.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm just tweeting while I'm listening to you ramble.
You're tweeting?
Yeah.
Oh, man, you are a multifaceted... No, not really. I guess that's all right. So, look, is there, how do you feel about the start of college football season?
Well, by the time everybody hears this, they will have at least watched one game, probably South Carolina and Texas A&M. Maybe they'll stay up to watch Ole Miss play Boise State if anybody cares about that. So, right now we're still waiting. I don't know. I'm ready for it to be here.
Yeah.
We've waited too long. We've watched the countdown. Now we're that close. Tomorrow is college football. We've gone through the dark period.
Okay.
We've come out the other side. Now there is actual football.
Sunshine and rainbows from here on out.
Correct. I'm ready for it. My team is no longer the crappy team that it was this time last year.
Right on.
There's a little bit of sunshine for me.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see about that. May just be last year in reverse.
I don't see that happening.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, well.
You want to put some money on that one?
Do I want to put some money on that one?
Yeah.
That you're going to go 0-8 in the SEC? No, I don't think you're
Right.
going to go 0-8 in the SEC.
I don't even think Burt's going to go 0-8 in the SEC again, and that's saying something.
All right. Well, this is the Pickcast, and we are going to get into some picks. Why don't you pick the game that you want to start off with, Jeremy, and we'll jump right into it.
Well, why don't we just start off with Alabama first on my notes here?
Okay.
Well, is how you're the Alabama homer. Why don't you take that?
Oh man, there's not a whole lot to say about this. I mean,
Well, you
West
better
Virginia
come
was.
up with something, got a podcast to do.
Well, West Virginia is kind of a train wreck as it is. They finished up last year pretty pathetic. Only a single upset win over Oklahoma State gave them any kind of hopes for this year coming in. But I think, geez, what is Alabama? They're like a 20-something point favorite.
Yeah, 26.
In this game. Yeah,
26.
in the Georgia Dome. I've been reading a lot on the Alabama blogs about how the offense is wondering how they're going to deal with that 3-3-5 defense that West Virginia plays. And I just run the ball.
Yeah, just run the ball.
Get Sims and Coker some reps and run the ball.
Yeah, who's your first quarterback in? Do we know? I don't think he's said, has he?
I think the line right now is that Sims is going to start.
Right.
And Coker will see meaningful playing time.
Do you think there's anything to be said about who actually does go in first?
No, not really. If anything, since it's still kind of a race at this point, Blake Sims is a senior. He's been there for all those years. I say he gets the start just out of respect.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Either way, they're Alabama quarterbacks. All they have to do is learn to either turn left and hand off or turn right and hand off.
That's right. That is exactly what A.J. McCarron did all those years.
That's right.
Hand off, occasionally do the play action and dump it off for 5 yards.
Well, there's something to be said about being a game manager, Kerry. You can't take that away from him. All he does is win. He's a winner.
He is that.
Just like Greg McElroy, and he'll probably join Greg McElroy on the ESPN SEC network very soon.
Well, the only other thing I can say about this game is Clint Trickett, who has like the most NASCAR name ever, is the West Virginia starting quarterback.
Yeah.
And admitted this week that Nick Saban's daughter was his first kiss.
Right.
So
this was a lot of people, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, Clint, expect to get sacked a bunch in this game. That's all I've got to say. The little thing we like to call repercussions.
Right. Well, Clint also is prone to throwing interceptions, if memory serves me right. And
it's the Big 12. They only count for half as much as they do in other leagues.
Yeah, but he's going up against crappy cornerbacks at Alabama, so it shouldn't be that big.
Oh, right. He's got a little wiggle room, you're saying, huh?
Right.
Okay.
You may have some decent safeties, but your cornerbacks. Is that fair to say?
I think our cornerbacks are talented but untested.
I'll give you that one.
We have really good safeties. Decent is an understatement.
Well, here's the thing. Let's just get down to the brass tacks. That's what it's all about, right?
All right, brass tacks then.
West Virginia has a very, very crappy defense, right?
Yes.
They can't stop anybody. They're definitely not going to stop Alabama's running backs. So let's just get real. I mean, as much as it pains me to say it, Alabama does capitalize on other people's mistakes. That's something they're very, very good at. And West Virginia is probably going to make a lot of mistakes, especially in the first game of the season. So I see, even if West Virginia has some way they hang in for a quarter or so, that's pretty much going to be it. They're going to throw everything they got at Alabama, but truthfully, all the quarterbacks really have to do is hand it off. I know I said that jokingly. They're probably going to be in a audition. It's a job interview, I'm sure. They're going to be passing it, but to win the game, if something were to happen and if Saban's like, okay, we've got to win this game, he can put either one of them in there and they can do screen passes or dump off passes, whatever, but they can put it on T.J. Yeldon and Derrick Henry's shoulders and they'll easily win the game. I mean, let's call it what it is. It's not really a test. Alabama's got West Virginia beat as far as talent and all that stuff up and down the lineup.
I'll agree with
that. They're one of your many, many, many cupcakes.
They're from a Big 5 conference. There's not much you can do about that. I think when we scheduled them, they had just come off a shellacking of Clemson in the bowl game.
Well, who doesn't shellac Clemson in the bowl game?
We need to add one of those to our...
I've got one there for you in Google Drive.
Do you?
Got your whole list of stuff if you'll just use it.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll see about doing that. All right. Well, maybe we can move on past this game by now, don't you think?
Well, as soon as we get a score prediction, yeah.
All right. My score prediction is Alabama 35, West Virginia 10.
Okay. I've actually got it Alabama 48 and West Virginia 13. I think even though Alabama's going to be putting in different quarterbacks, which usually messes with your flow, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
They're still going to, I mean, I can just see your running backs getting wide open through the middle and just running 40 or 50 yards right up the gut, untouched.
Well, I hope you're right on this one, dude.
Well, whatever.
Whatever.
I've been right before. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's a big deal.
It occasionally happens.
It does. That's what I say. 48. Are you writing this stuff down? Did you get last week's stuff?
48-13.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know I was the scribe for our podcast.
Well, everybody's got a job to do.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, let's move on to the Auburn-Arkansas matchup. You lead us off on this one, then.
Well, Kerry, this one is going to be at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Daylight Time.
Which is one good reason why I'm glad I'm not going to be at the game. Because I don't know why you'd want to be at a football game at 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon in the sweltering heat. But either way, what much more can you say about this other than Arkansas is being coached by Burt? That's about all I need to know about it. Coach Burt is going to screw this up 6 ways from Sunday. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, you can have feedback. No, either way, Arkansas is going to be more improved from last year. There's not really any other way they can go but up. But still, what does that mean? 6-6 at the best?
Seems reasonable.
Probably. They may win a couple of SEC games, but they're not going to win with Auburn. I can tell you that. They're coming up against Auburn in the season opener, the first game of the season. You know they're not prepared for that.
Sure. Well, you know what I'm looking forward to in this game, Jeremy, is I'm looking for Johnson to come up big. Get a little rock in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be great times for everyone. But I'm with you. I think if Auburn is lackluster, if Johnson's a little nervous coming out, and Auburn's not at the top of their game, and Arkansas really puts on a thrill show, they could make it close through maybe the first half. But Auburn's going to pull away. They've got better talent. They've got a better coach. They're just going to come out, and by the end of the game, they're going to be up by 17 or more. Well, so much has to do with it being the first game of the season, in my opinion. Arkansas is going to come out, and they don't really know what they've got, or they're trying to get things to work. And
I'm pretty sure with all the returning players and the system that's there, that Auburn is not really trying to find those pieces like they were last year, trying to figure out who they are, their identity as offense or defense. They've got that down. So basically, they're just polishing up. I sound like an elitist. I hope I'm not becoming a Bammer.
Too late.
No, definitely not.
All right. Well,
Either
what's your score prediction on this one?
my score prediction is Auburn 45, Arkansas 20. I say,
Wow.
yeah, what?
Nothing. I have 42-20.
Well, I think Auburn's defense can be porous at times. You know what I mean? It can be porous. But ultimately, I mean, like I talked about the heat, the factor there, the Razorbacks are not the slimmest of bunches. Let's just say that. They're big boys. They're
Right.
called hogs for a reason.
It's all that crackling they eat.
Right. Auburn's been in, I don't want to undersell Ryan Russell's strength and conditioning program that he's been doing for 2 years, but these guys are in shape. And then they run this up-tempo offense, and they're really, to me, they're really ready for it. And you add in the factor of the heat and the plays that Auburn's going to run, the tempo they're going to run on them, after a while, that's just going to be, I think it's going to take a toll on Arkansas, more so than just being outmatched. I think that tempo is really going to wear on them, because I'm sure this year's Auburn offense is going to run faster and more efficiently than last year's. You would hope.
All right.
So stopping them could be a problem.
All right.
45-20. Write that down.
45-20, he says. All right. Well, that's our predictions for the Alabama and the Auburn games. We are going to take a quick commercial break right now. When we come back, we'll catch the other top 25 matchups in the SEC, and we'll each give you a bold prediction / upset pick for this week. So, here we go on the outro to our sponsor. Hope you guys can hear this. Hey! All right. So, now that we're back from that commercial break, maybe you heard it, maybe you didn't. I don't know. I can't tell. I heard it, and that's what matters.
I didn't hear it.
You don't need to hear it. Nobody cares.
I don't care.
Right on. So, Jeremy, some other top 25 games being played by the SEC this week. A couple of them are pretty interesting. We've got the Clemson Tigers at Georgia on Saturday at 5:30.
Right on.
Yeah. So
Georgia's a 7.5, 7.5 point favorite. Let's say that.
7.5 point.
7.5 point favorite.
Right.
Yeah, they're the favorites.
Yes, they are. I think Georgia's going to be a much improved team this year. I really see them coming out strong. I think they are going to have a lot that they want to prove in this first game. Rick is going to have a lot that he wants to prove in this first game. I don't think any of us really expected Clemson to win that game last year. We thought Georgia was going to be the darling of the East. So I look for Georgia really to have their big boy pants on. That being said, Clemson's no pushover. But I think in the end, Georgia wins this game by a score of 28-23.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm not much of a Georgia fan, right? Right. I'm not much of a Georgia fan.
If you say
can
so.
answer, feel free. But anybody that can just stump a mud hole on Dabo Sweeney is a friend of mine. That's the way I look at it.
I see. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Georgia, but I hate Dabo Sweeney. You know, put him in this hate category that I have.
What do you got going on against Dabo Sweeney?
Well, because he's a Bammer.
You hate Ozzie Newsome too? Bart Starr,
Kenny Stabler,
Joe Namath.
Right.
You hate football, man.
Hate them all. I'm just kidding. No, I don't like Dabo because Dabo is a jerk. I just don't like him. He's a little dweeb.
He's a twerp.
Yeah, he's a twerk. Well, Georgia's got some problems other than their, arrest problems where they can't stay out of prison. But their problems last year were injuries, if you'll remember.
Mm-hmm.
That took them out of a lot of games because they lost a lot of people. And I'm talking about starters, big time deal. But by the end of the season, they started getting some of them back, and they started getting a little bit better. Of course, they lost their bowl game, but Aaron Murray was out. Hudson Mason come in. He did pretty good. I think he's going to do good enough. This Hudson Mason fella.
Okay.
So I still think Georgia's going to win ultimately. But not South Carolina, Clemson. They're going to have some drop off. They're losing Taj Boyd. They're losing Sammy Watkins. That's pretty much all they had. They thrived off those two guys, and they were good. But they don't have them anymore. So Georgia's taking a step up. Clemson's taking a step back. I still think it's going to be close. I got Georgia 31-24. What says you?
24. I already gave my prediction. I said 28-23.
Okay. Well, we both think it's going to be close.
Yeah, we do.
Right.
And the last game we're going to pick tonight is another top 25 matchup. Wisconsin playing in Death Valley as a flippin' 5-point favorite. Can you believe that crap?
No. They can't be a 5-point favorite.
Yes, they are. I'm looking at CBS Sports right now. LSU +5.
I have LSU -5.
Where are you looking?
That was Rivals.com.
Well,
yeah, I don't think if Wisconsin is a 5-point favorite in Baton Rouge, you'd have to give me let me get some of that.
Yeah, you're going to put some money on that one?
Oh, yeah. I think LSU will win this one straight up.
Oh, sure.
This is for entertainment purposes only.
Right.
Just make sure people understand that. It's strictly for entertainment. Trust us, you would not want to listen to us and put money on it.
Okay.
You're taking forever.
What? What am I supposed to say? You were talking.
I was just filling the gaps, brother.
I'm looking at OddsShark now. They've got LSU as a 6.5-point favorite.
How about that?
So, CBS is just the odd man out. I thought that was strange. I wouldn't have.
Do you want to bet on this game with me?
No,
LSU?
no. I've got LSU winning this game.
5-point dog?
No, I'm taking LSU straight up. Although I do think it's going to be a fairly close game. I don't think LSU is going to win by 6.5. LSU has lots of talent. On the other side of the coin, they've got Les Miles. On the other hand, they did lose Zach Mettenberger, so they should be a little better.
So it's a plus here, it's a minus there, it's a plus
Yeah.
here, it's a minus
Well,
there.
now, the most interesting thing to me is going to see how that Fortunet guy is going to run the ball.
Yeah.
I expect to see him get some fairly heavy ball dosages there in his prescription.
It won't matter because they've got several very good running backs.
Sure.
So it
Sure
doesn't
they do.
matter. They've got 2 or 3 capable running backs, and they're all going to have it.
Yeah, I think Wisconsin's going to make this an interesting game, and I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. But in the end, LSU's probably going to have the lead early and kind of hang on in a fairly low-scoring game. I've got LSU 21, Wisconsin 17.
Oh, you got a little close scoring contest there, huh?
Yes, I do.
That's splendid. Well, here's the deal. Let me give you the lowdown.
Tell me the deal.
Bring it in here.
Okay.
Wisconsin doesn't know who they want to start as their quarterback. They've got a guy who played safety last year. You can back up just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You can just back up. There you go. You're a little too close. They had a guy who started 3 games last year as safety. His name is, let's look at Tanner McAvoy. So
McAvoy?
McAvoy.
McAvoy.
Confused with McElroy. But anyway.
McElroy.
Right. You know, if you give me the SEC versus anybody,
Yeah.
we're talking about, we're not talking Vandy or Kentucky or anybody like that. We're talking South Carolina, Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, LSU, that tier. I'm going to take the SEC just because it's just up and down the lineup like we talked about with one of the other games. Up and down the lineup, the SEC has you beat on talent. I don't care who you are. There's a few teams out there that has talent like that. But LSU versus Wisconsin, I think LSU is, and you put it in Death Valley, really?
Yeah.
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 Wisconsin won't win this football game.
No.
I do say it would be close. I'm saying 28-20.
Right on. But it's a night game too, right?
Right. If you play in Death Valley, it's pretty much going to be a night game. That's pretty much all they do. And they
Right
wear
on.
their away jerseys at home. They're just that weird.
All right. Well, there's not really any other games of consequence or interest going on this weekend.
Why don't you tell me your top 4? Your projected, your top 4 teams, your playoff teams as of right now.
Okay. Well, it hasn't really changed from our last podcast. So I've got Florida State, Alabama, Michigan State, and Oklahoma.
Okay. Well, I mean, I understand that we talked about at the end of the year. You're going to keep them that way unless something changes?
Well, no, we haven't seen anybody play at this point. So, I mean, why would I? I'm starting there. Now, after the weekend, when we get to Monday's podcast, I might have something different to say.
All right, then. Well, I'm putting Florida State, Auburn, Alabama, and Oklahoma. Now, I think Michigan State's going to get in there and probably knock somebody out.
Auburn.
Alabama. But as for right now, those are my 4 teams.
Those are good 4 teams. At least 75% of them are.
Right.
All right, Jeremy. Well, we have, as you may recall, something of a long-standing tradition on our Pickcast where we have to choose one upset each week. Did you have one ready?
I completely forgot about that little ditty.
Well, then I'll go first to give you a chance to scan the scoreboards and come up with one. As most of you know, the Steve Sarkisian era begins at Southern Cal this week. And I think it's going to be a bad start for the little kiddos of Troy. The Fresno State Bulldogs are going to be coming to town, and I say they pull the upset, win a nail biter over USC, probably in overtime. That's my upset pick for this week. Jeremy, that's all the time you got.
That is okay. That is awesome. Well, in that case, as I'm scanning through to just find somebody, does that mean I get the bold prediction sounder?
Yeah, oh yeah, let's do it. Here we go.
You'll have to tell me when it's over because I can't hear it.
Well, now you're talking over it, so I have to start it over again.
That's because I can't hear it because you're not doing this right.
We'll just stop talking.
I'm on now. Okay, I'm going to say that Boise State will upset the Ole Miss Rebel Black Bear people. There you have it. My bold prediction.
Well, that's exciting.
Oh, and the score shall be?
Oh, go ahead.
31-28. That would be where you say something witty.
31-28?
31-28, sir.
Wow, you crazy.
Well, that's kind of the point of being a bold prediction, I'm pretty sure.
Sure. All right, well, there you have it. Take out your checkbooks, people. Empty the bank accounts, cash in your 401ks, redeem those savings bonds, empty your kids' piggy banks. Steal money from your parents' wallet. Go to the sporting book of your choice and make your bets now because we have given you the guaranteed, absolutely not guaranteed, wins for this week on the top 25 right here on Igno Rants.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
That probably got us in a lot of trouble, but okay.
All right, well, Jeremy, is there anything else you want to talk about this week?
How about a projected player of the week, since we don't know anything else to say about?
All right.
This is what I'm going to do. Projected player of the week, 2 of them.
Okay.
The obvious and the not so obvious. And I'm going home with this.
I assumed you were.
Well, half of it. I'm going to say the obvious choice for the player of the week is going to be Derrick Henry.
Okay.
I think they're just going to put the ball on the ground. They're going to hand it off. Derrick Henry is going to do his thing. He's going to get a lot of yards against a very, very, very crappy defense. So he's the obvious choice. The not so obvious choice, I think, is going to be Corey Grant for Auburn. Where most people are thinking it's going to be Cameron Artis-Payne, I think Corey Grant for Auburn is going to show out. I think he's got that speed going up against those hogs that can't move very fast. I think he's going to just be like tail lights, touchdown, over and over and over. He's the not so obvious choice. So when we come back and do the review, you mark it down. Jeremy said Derrick Henry, Corey Grant.
I've marked it down. It's on the paper.
That is fantastic. You really did.
I did. And I've only got one projected player of the week, and that is the man of hair, Bo Wallace.
The Bo.
The Bo.
Boy, you're stepping out on a limb there, right?
No, not at all. Bo Wallace is awesome. Bo Wallace is the man.
Bo Wallace is... No, Bo Wallace is not the man.
He is a Greek god among men. He is the pinnacle of quarterbacking.
Quarterback hair. Who was the guy for
Mississippi.
South Carolina like years and years ago that had the mullet? Was his name Tannehill? Huh?
All of them?
All of them. That's good.
Tannehill. I think they did have a Tannehill, didn't they?
Didn't he have a mullet?
They may have been. I really thought most of them did.
You have a good point. Most of South Carolina players probably did have mullets. Either way. Yep. Bo at least gets good hair. He may not be a good quarterback, but he's got the good
Hey,
rug up there.
he's going to look good against Boise State. I think Bo's going to put up like 300 plus yards and a couple of touchdowns.
Is that a legitimate thought there, or are you just talking smack now?
Of course it's a legit. All of my thoughts are legitimate. I don't deal in illegitimate thoughts. Well, I
Bo
mean,
Wallace is not going to put up 300 yards. You talking about in the air?
yes.
Oh, we need a bold prediction for this.
All right, here we go. Oh, I got to do it again because I turned the sound down.
Apparently, we're going to have to work out the kinks.
Bo Wallace lights up the Boise State Broncos for 300 or more yards in the air and 2 touchdowns en route to a major victory in quasi-prime time on Thursday night. How's that for a bold prediction?
Quasi. Okay, I'm fixing to lose it here. I'm trying to hold it together. Yeah.
All right. Well, you've been listening. What? Well, go ahead.
That's quite impressive.
Thank
If
you.
you get that, you are the king of bold predictions.
Sweet. I can't wait. I'm gonna be glued. Oh, dude, I gotta tell you. You know, I got TV, like paid for TV for the first time in I don't know, like 13 or 14 years this week because I haven't had cable in forever.
Yeah. Welcome to 1995.
Well, no, look, that's the thing. I got it for the SEC network, and since we've kind of gone big time with V Sporto and whatnot, I figured I ought to actually watch more of the games this year.
That's probably going to be beneficial.
Yeah, you would think. We'll have to see how that pans out. I have been impressed, at how far along TV programming technology has come, but B, I got my first chance to listen to Feinbaum today. That crap is nuts.
Yes, and look, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I listened to Feinbaum for about a month, I guess, with some people at work were talking about how great it was, and I listened to it, and I'm like, man, this is just a bunch of, like, it's Jerry Springer for college football.
Good Lord, these guys make us look like Nobel laureates on this show.
Yeah, we're more like Feinbaum meets John Boy and Billy.
Okay, I'll buy that. Well, you've been wasting your time listening to Igno Rants on college football, the Pickcast. Join us again on Monday morning where we recap all of the weekend's actions and we get a chance to see how poorly we all did in making our predictions. Until then, be sure to check us out on the social media, including Twitter. What is that handle, Jeremy?
That would be at Ignorant Talk.
On Facebook, on Google+, on our website, which is igno-rants.com. Send us some feedback through the email, which is...
Oh, I never know when you're giving it to me. Its email is talk@igno-rants.com.
Or the rant line. Call us up and leave us a Feinbaum-esque message. You can call that number by dialing...
26-0-rant-1.
Until then, don't forget to check us out on Bama Sports Radio and War Eagle Sports Radio. Until Monday morning, happy football, America! And remember, roll Tide!
And War Eagle!
Woo! I'm the only one who can hear the music. Do 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 do. I don't think that's how it goes.
How do you know that the people that are watching can't hear the music?
thus
really
ended the show. Yeah?
Okay.
What?
You really suck at that.
Thank you.
Can you hear yourself? I mean,
No. No.
okay. I think you got like